1 second. And thank you all for joining us again for the Finance Magnates Blockchain Podcast. And today we have two members of a team. It's a special podcast. We have members of TrueFlip, which is a blockchain-based lottery. If you can, gentlemen, if you can please introduce yourselves.
Hello, guys. My name is Konstantin. I'm marketing director of TrueFlip, and I'm a co-founder of that project. So I will very happy to answer for your all questions.
Hello, guys. My name is Vasily Polinov, and I'm head of communications in TrueFlip. So I manage all the communications, and I'm ready to answer the questions.
Great. Okay, so I'll start with the first question. The most obvious one. What can you tell us about the project? What do you offer?
I think you must start.
Okay, let me answer this. So TrueFlip is an international blockchain-based lottery. Probably the main difference from any other project, which is a bit alike, the main difference is that we are already a running business. So to this date, we're selling tickets. We have registered 100,000 registered players. So this business is on now. To tell you more, probably we should talk about our blockchain nature. The thing is that all the processes in the lottery, we are trying to make it as much transparent, as much verifiable as we're virtually able. So we have all the ticket purchases, all the winning numbers, and all the statistics you can be interested in about the lottery project, viewable on our webpage and also as well in blockchain. So that's how we cannot. The main point here is that we cannot do any fraud to our players, and no one actually can do with this lottery, as we have a very special algorithm of generating the winning numbers in the lottery that won't allow any party, including the team, to somehow change the numbers after the draw has taken place. In general, we are mostly like Powerball, if anyone knows what that means. Powerball is just a classic form of lottery where you should match several numbers in the row from, in our case, it's from 1 to 49. So you just need to choose 5 numbers in the row from 1 to 49 and 1 number in the row from 1 to 26. So basically, it's just a simple lottery, and the main difference is that lottery, in our case, is absolutely viewable, verifiable. Our fairness is like, if anyone has questions on the fairness, they can easily verify all the results in all the transactions.
Yes, and everyone can look our algorithms in GitHub, because we are an open source project.
And well, obviously, open sourcing the project does a lot to show transparency. But for, let's say, someone who is not technological minded, right? Somebody who doesn't know himself how to verify code, is not a blockchain programmer. Right? How do you inspire trust in those people? How do you show transparency?
Okay, we know about that people, and to say more, nowadays we're of course aimed mainly at the audience, which is like which knows the crypto topic and which could do the thing, yeah. But still, we understand that many players, many traditional lottery players, won't understand how things are done in the blockchain environment. So we have simply integrated the mechanism, like the option, just directly to our webpage. You can just click menu, choose the link which is called Check Transparency, And there you will have just the only field on the web page where you actually insert the hash ID of the first block in the Bitcoin blockchain that appears after 8 p.m. So the thing is that it's connected to our random numbers generating mechanism. We use the first block that appears in the blockchain, in the Bitcoin's blockchain. We don't know exactly what time it is, but it's around 8 p.m. It may be 1 minute earlier or 1 minute later. We stop selling tickets like half an hour or an hour before this draw takes place. So the thing is that we stop selling tickets, and it's quite easily viewable in blockchain that we have really stopped selling them before the block is generated, which brings us with the numbers. So logically, we cannot somehow modify the numbers. So all you need to verify Alathenas is just to find this block on blockchain.info. It's like it's available for everyone everywhere. You find this first block after 8 p.m. and you insert its hash ID into the field on our web page. So you will get the same numbers that are those that have just won the draw. So you can verify the numbers very easily. We try to do it so that even a child can do this.
Yes. So you don't need any notes about blockchain and how it works.
It looks like you don't need to be a programmer to do this.
Yeah, no, it sounds very interesting, but I guess somebody may not be too familiar with the Bitcoin blockchain and the process might ask, so how do we know that the miners that they produce the chain, that they don't have the ability to write it in the way that guarantees that they will win?
Well, the thing is that the random generation mechanism works in the block in automatic mode, and no one knows when the exact block appears. That means that any party, including miners, including the team, including other players, including any guys who wants to fraud, we all don't know when it appears. And as it appears in momentum, the numbers are generated. So I say logically because even in case anyone wants, this anyone will not know when it has appeared. If that's your question.
Yes. Well, I guess let's say, yeah, you've proven transparency, but still something I think most people are concerned right now, considering recent cases with CoinDash, for example, and the multi-sig wallets hack, is how do I know that my funds are secure? If I send my Bitcoins, if I want to take part in the lottery, how do I know that it's not going to be hacked? Because after all, if a lot of people going to send their funds to one address, so you will have a big target, right? It's a very attractive target for hackers.
So of course we understand it's a big point for all hackers to hack our wallet, so because it's a lot of coins inside. We are use cold wallet for secure money. Yes, and we has multi-sig wallet. Of course, for ETH and for BTC, it's separate wallet. So of course we can't guarantee if that wallet has the same bugs inside, the same of priority. Yes, what's the name of multi-sig which hack it now? It's parity. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we don't use parity. We use another wallet, but of course we don't sure for 100%. Maybe they have some bugs, but we try to make bug bounty. We pay for all programmers in the world some tokens if they find bugs in our secure system or if they find some bugs inside. So we do everything what we can do to secure all funds which we collected.
Yeah, so in general, the thing is that no one can be 100% sure that the solution they're using is completely secure because we all live in this environment, yes? But I think we've done quite enough to protect what we have, and we've done our best. So even excluding that cold wallet. This wallet is under multi-sign of our escrow members, and there's 3 out of 5 or
Three.
3. There's 3 escrow members, so the funds will be available only with multi-signage.
No, of course, I understand your question, but nobody knows about bug in parity. Nobody knows. Yes, of course, it's a surprise for everyone. But we tried and we made bounty, bug bounty and hack it bounty. And people just want to hack us to find some problem places inside. So we pay for that. And we very lot things about our security and security of funds. So we have around 3 levels of securities. We have a backend, we have like next stage, it means it's connector from backend and connector of frontend. So I don't know how it explained in English, but it's like a security level. So if you find it how to hack a front end of our system, you can't go inside to backend because you have one more stage inside.
So and then in conclusion of this question, I would say that you should be really a brilliant, a genius hacker to perform what you want with Triplet. And I'm not sure that everyone is like that.
Yeah. No.
And can you translate, please? Если они смогут взломать наш сайт, то тогда они выберут сайт, где намного больше денег.
Okay, yeah. So that's the main also logical thing here is that they are able to somehow hack our webpage, our service. But there are so many services with much more money and probably less secure or just same secure as ours. So we're not. We think that we're not going to be the target because with our amount of tokens hold, with coins hold, we have quite a good security.
It makes security like exchanges.
So exchange level security.
Yeah. That's why they'll probably start with exchange.
That's where the money is. That's like the reason you rob banks. That's where the money is. Okay. So beyond cybersecurity, what about legality? What about legal matters? How do you, if at all, dedicate to figuring out legal matters, around the world? Because with Bitcoin, anyone can send and correct right now.
You're absolutely correct. It's a big point for us to find the best way for legal because it's a new market for the world. Yes, and the regulator doesn't know how to work with cryptocurrency. We came to Amsterdam to exhibition iGaming. It's one of the famous exhibition in the world. So we spoke with a lot of regulator from Malta, from Curacao, and we spoke with a lot of players in that market, like a big company like 1xBet or like a PokerStars. And nobody knows right now how regulator can make that market like
Yes, the main concern here, and that's also this risk is general, and it's the same for everyone in the industry. The thing is, yes, you cannot predict how a regulator acts like the other day, but what we think now is that to date, these days, we are resided in Costa Rica, and there, online gambling, yeah, online gaming and online gambling is allowed. There's no problem with that. So what we see now is that our real jurisdiction allows us to do what we do. The thing is, yes, that yes, probably any further regulation risks are quite live and real, but still, while it's not clear yet, we don't estimate this risk to be like our primary.
So we are like a first guy who go for that way. Yes, because we not accept fiat, we just accept crypto. So nobody knows. We just start. We start. We want to spoke with some government for finding best way. Right now we has a lawyer who speak with Malta and who speak with the island man about legal for our project. But it's not legal documents ready for regulate our business because it's just that world just burned 2 years ago, so it's very young, and we wait for some legal documents and for find the best place to incorporate it.
So yeah, I think I should add that the very important point is that we're by ourselves. We're open for any discussion. So it's not gonna happen like the regulation changes and then we go to shady parts or the dark parts of the market. No, we will we will accept all the forms of regulation everywhere, and we will try to work with it where it's used. But the thing is that there still is no suitable regulation for the topic in most places, and we're not sure. We are ourselves open for dialogue. We are not sure that the local governments will be the same open for dialogue, and that's what we are going to base on.
But I think it's just problem for a time.
Yes, of course, it's a matter of time.
So I think maybe like a new world, like a new countries like Singapore or maybe like Hong Kong, but it's China, I'm not sure. Maybe Switzerland, because it's now one of the famous place for Bitcoin community. We'll find it some legal rules for a company like our company, like a Truthly.
Yeah, so what we are quite sure in is that as we see good examples of different markets globally, all over the planet, different markets, already now they take quite a quality steps to make this to make businesses like ours properly regulated and like a win-win regulation, so that we can continue our job. So what I think is that still these countries who are a bit ahead in these regulations, I think the community there, the blockchain community, the crypto-related community in these countries will be quite enough, at least for us to keep developing, to keep growing, and so on. Maybe in case we will face any restrictions on some of the markets, this will not affect the whole thing, the whole business model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, it's an interesting case, and yeah, we haven't seen the gaming hubs, whether it's Isle of Man or Malta,
hubs are probably related more to classical gambling and gaming, yeah. But that's another thing that we're in crypto environment. So even this quite open and quite quite well-developed markets for gambling, will still need to further improve their regulation to give us a good, good environment where we can work, pay taxes. I don't know, like this, like a normal business.
But that's the goal, right? To become a regulated, approved.
No, absolutely, only white thing. No shady sites because it's not our business model.
Maybe
Yeah.
Israel will be first country who accept and who make legal for our game. Who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't count on it. They're not even they're even going after. They're trying to figure out how they can go after ICOs right now here. So I don't know about that. Speaking of ICO, by the way, you're launching an ICO soon, correct?
No, we are already in the ICO,
Oh,
and
okay.
more it will end in 4 days. So we are probably in the final stage of our ICO, and like this.
Oh, okay.
It's going to end on the 28th of July.
Yeah, we collected right now around $5 million.
Ah, that's very nice.
Yes, and it's very good that we have collected them in different cryptocurrencies. So we don't have this makes us feel a bit more secure because we don't have only Bitcoin or only Ethereum. We have like multi wallets with different currencies.
Cryptocurrency.
We during the ICO we accepted 4 of them. It's like Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dash. So we now have money in these coins.
I see. So actually, can you tell me more about the process? I know everybody now is interested to learn. Everybody, I'm getting contact by a lot of entrepreneurs who are thinking about how to approach an ICO, how to run it. What can you tell us about the process now that you're already in it and already gathered 5 million?
Translate this for me just a second.
Просто сказать нас побольше о нашем ICO и обо всем, что с ним связано.
Okay, so ICO is very hard work. Firstly, we spent like 3 months just for a process ICO, so we don't sleep at that time.
Just preparations for 3 months.
Мы начали с готовым продуктом. Ну, расскажи.
Okay, let me speak a bit on the ICO, how we established that. The thing was that first, as I told you in the beginning, our main difference here was that we were going to launch the ICO with already running product.
Mm-hmm.
That's what differs us probably from 90% of all the of all the plots with ICOs, with people companies having their ICOs. The thing is that usually you conduct an ICO with a roadmap or with a white paper or something like that, and there you ask money, you ask for crowdfunding to make this to make the whole thing live. Yeah, to create your MVP, then probably to launch the product. Our difference was that we had already have a product, and what we needed the ICO, the purpose of ICO was not to launch it, but to scale. So here we go for crowdfunding as just any normal business. The thing is that we preferred like ICO, not any other kinds of funding. We prefer that because we're in crypto environments, because it's quite a good and lively thing for these days, and we needed to scale the business for several main reasons. First, as we are lottery, we needed to establish a really huge jackpot. Today it's about 50 bitcoins or something like. 50 bitcoins when you can really win them, is okay. But what we're interested in is thousands of bitcoins, literally. That's an attractive jackpot that makes your lottery business interesting to the players, because they understand that they can really win a huge sum of money. That's probably the first thing. So a huge percentage of the money we collect on ICO goes for that purpose, directly to form a new jackpot. Another thing is, of course, different business processes. We understand that while you run a gambling business, even say more lottery business, you need to do a really huge and really like a huge marketing job, yeah, which will for which you will need really lots of funds. So that's even excluding the funds that our co-founders put to establish the business, it's not enough to have a global marketing campaign to reach as many people, as many players, potential players, as you want to make this lottery, to move it to a new level, actually. So marketing was one of our other main goals, yeah. And also, of course, that's business processes. We are still improving the products. That's last but not least, of course. But thing is that we already now we have quite a good product which people play, where they win, so it works. That's why I think that the most important decisions and the most important actions with product itself have been made already. But still, we need money to develop 3 more new games on TrueFlip, because yes, we need to make instant games, not instead, but extra to the only game we have now. Today we have a draw just once a day. As I told you, that's because of the nature of blockchain, where you get the numbers from the exact block. The thing is, that's why today we make just 1 draw a day. And what we want is to to have 3 games where the winnings and the play itself is instant. So you just go to TrueFlip, choose your desired game. I don't know, buy a ticket, and probably if you're lucky, you get your win instantly. You don't wait for the second day. Developing the platform to implement new games is another main target, and we of course need we need coins to fund this.
Mm-hmm. And what do investors get in return for their their involvement, right? If they send you their Dash or Ethereum, what do they get in return?
Oh, multiple profits.
They have has the tokens. The tokens will be in exchange after ICO ends. We need just 2 weeks to list that in famous exchanges, but I can't say name of this. And they will get every time, every day, some bonuses from each ticket what we sell. But it's not like a profits; it's like a bonus. So we will just a second. Ну, короче, мы делаем механику, когда человеку будут начисляться вторые токены, которые будут участвовать в лотерее, и он сможет выигрывать некоторые бонусы в зависимости от того, сколько он победит.
Okay, so the mechanics here is that people who bought the tokens will collect from day to day. It will depend on our ticket sales amount, and in the whole success of this business. It's like more tickets we sell, more bonuses people get, and the bonuses themselves will be kind of probably you can say it's another kind of token that will bring you definite profits in the inner mechanics of Trueflip. There are extra games for people. There are like extra abilities to gain from ticket sales. Probably if I start explaining the very deep mechanics here, we will all like get stuck. But the thing is that people will have that's not directly a financial profit from each token, as we're not going uh, to do with with classical schemes like dividends, investors. We don't want to use that words because we're in crypto environment and the processes here are not the same, and we don't want to make them the same.
Mm-hmm. I see. But does that mean that the assumption is that the investors will also be users?
Users of Trueflip.
Yes.
Well,
they start to be like token holders and like holders of TrueFlip platform.
so they are like a kind of co-owners.
Yes.
So they will have certain rights which will differ them from the whole amount of players and people who are interested in Trueflip. So in case you buy a token, you can be sure that you will have like extra rights. Yeah, you will have something more than a simple player.
Mm-hmm. In the algorithm itself, you'd have some advantage.
Yes, in the algorithm, in the way you get your profits, your bonuses, you will be like first in the queue like this.
Mm, I see. Okay, and where did you, if you have the statistic, where do you find most of your investment coming from? Is it Russia or China or?
You mean
It's not Russia.
yeah? You mean investors or players? Because it's
Investors, like people that join in the ICO.
oh, it's one part is like from Spanish countries. I mean, it's Latin America, yes,
Latin America.
Latin America. Some people from Asia. It's a lot of our token holders, and of course some Europe countries like France or similar of that. Yes, and a little bit part from Russia and Ukraine.
It's like you can say that they're really global. As I see it, I myself work also with our support services. So what I see is that the problem of our support service is that people actually never sleep in this chat, because when people go to have a sleep, to have a nap, others just have their mornings and they start writing. So as I can judge by our support channels, the community is now really global.
I see. Well, that's a good problem to have, I guess. What did I want to ask? I wanted to ask about the involvement of John Matonis. If you could tell us about the connection.
Okay, so John paid quite a significant interest to the project. I am not sure if I know how exactly he found out about Trueflip, but what he did, he paid like a really live interest to us. So we had like a series of conversations after which we understood, both of us, that we are of course interested in an advisor like John Matonis, because he's one of those who are extremely experienced in the topic, in the crypto world. So what we asked John is like to help us with all the kinds of information or connections that he can provide, and like a kind of craft our strategy and our business model so that it would suit the crypto environment. That's one of the points, and the other point is that probably John also can, like, he introduced us to the people that will definitely be really helpful for us in the future, and they help us now. See, the thing is that with the help of John Matonis, we extend our network. And this is very good because as far as I see, John is really interested in the project like ours, which are not like ICO purpose types, but kind of business that is that is a bit different in its model, and that has all the perspectives to how you say it, to have a good launch, and to just a business that has a good perspective, which is quite true. He liked the team, he liked the idea, he liked how the processes are done. So that's how you make partnership with people.
I see. So you would advise anyone that's seeking an ICO to get brand name advisors that can connect them.
But I think the main thing here is that in case you're seeking for an advisor, the brand name, just partnering with a person which has a loud name, is not what you want. What you really need is the expertise, and John definitely has expertise. That's why I would advise John to any ongoing ICO, because in case he's interested. Because the thing is that as I see, John is not interested in any project that is offered to him.
Obviously. Okay, so I think we learned a lot about your offering. What else do you think that our viewers and listeners need to know about TrueFlip?
Okay, let me say a word, and probably then Constantine. What I think is that probably a small technical detail, that we have issued 21 million of our TFL tokens, and we will never issue any new tokens again. So that's not like we're going to have a second ICO in half a year. No. To say more, the tokens that we don't sell by the end of ICO will be burned, as we call them. So there will be no extra tokens which we can keep selling after the ICO ends. No, so there will be none of them. That's point one. And point two is probably that I think what people need to understand about us is that ICO is not the purpose of this project. ICO is just the thing to have the ability to scale the things to new levels. So what we are going to do in the next year, 2 years, is just a continuous step-by-step job of business development, as if it was any other kind of business.
I see.
Okay, in my opinion, I think the one of the best point of our project really has a good team. So we are real people. We have a lot of experience in digital, in websites, in a project, and we really want to make a profitable business. We don't want to just make a project in a paper. We really want to make real business.
Yes, here is probably that's one of the main the main subjects why we try to show up in like faces and like our office.
Showing off your office.
Because here in this environment and blockchain, say nothing about the lottery business itself. While you do it in blockchain, you need people to see that you're real, and
yes.
That you don't want to have any.
Not gonna run away.
Yeah. And of course, you can find it our contacts, our Facebook, and our LinkedIn in site ico.trueflip.io. so you can find all information
Yeah, we
about
have
us.
all the team there.
And everyone who sees that video can write for me any questions. No problem. I will answer for everything.
Great. Yeah, I know people are looking for transparency right now, so I think it's a great move.
Yeah, so the main point for us is just to provide the answers just when people have questions.
Right. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy development schedule in the middle of an ICO and answering our questions. And I want to thank the audience for listening. And please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you catch up
We will
on
do
all
that.
our future interviews.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.